So yesterday we were graphing. We had no multiplicity, just a regular. We found our intercepts. Today, if you look at the first question, we have some multiplicity. Stop it. Okay, so pull up number 1 on your notes, please. I'm going to do the first 4. You're going to do the last 4. Anytime you have left, I will let you work on homework, and I have to pass that out because I forgot to. So, number 1, I have f of x equals x times x plus 3 quantity squared times x minus 2. So how do I classify this? What degree is it? What name can I give it? It's a third degree? Why is it a fourth degree? Because I have that square. Good. So I do have 3 distinct zeros, but that square tells me I have a multiplicity, so it is a fourth degree. So we have fourth degree, and what was the other name we gave that? Quartic, and our end behavior looked, bless you, if you're sick, stay away. The end behavior looked like what? Was it together or opposite? Quartic is yes, together. Now, when I ask for intercepts, what do I need you to find? X and Y. Yes, Diego, you can do Y first if you want, but I like to start with X. We're going to do X intercepts. So what is my first X intercept? 0, 0. Good, because we have that X out front. What is my second X intercept? Negative 3, 0. And my third one? Negative 3, 0. Again, good, because I have multiplicity. And then I have... What's my last one? Positive 2, 0. Yes, Mr. Barajas did get that one. Okay, so negative 3, 0 has multiplicity too. So I'm going to highlight it, and it'll make it a little bit easier when we graph it right now, okay? Now, for my y-intercept, what is that one? 0, 0. This one is 0, 0. So if I write 0, 0, does that mean I have multiplicity too, or does that mean they're the same point? In this case, they are the same point. Okay, do I have enough information to graph? Yes. Yes, I do. So we're going to scale our axes. And if you did last night's homework, which I hope was most of you, you'll see on one of those examples it had an intercept of like 0, negative 24 or something like that. Yeah. So you needed to at least label it so you knew where the y-intercept was, okay? Okay, so where's my first x-intercept at? 0. Perfect. My second one? Negative 3, 0. And I had multiplicity there, so I'm going to highlight it so I don't forget. And what about my last x-intercept? 2, 0. And my y-intercept? Good. It overlapped again at 0, 0. Now when I graph, do I start in the top left or the bottom left? Top left, because I have an even function. So when I come down, I hit my highlight. Why did I highlight that again? Because it's multiplicity, so yes, Danielle, it just touches or it bounces, so I'm going to bounce back up. Then I can go through all the rest of my points. Is that a quartic graph? Yes. Yes, that is a fourth degree. So that's our answer. So interesting. I know, don't you just love math? No. Yes. He loves that sandwich that he ate. He loves that sandwich that he was eating, yes. Okay, ready for example 2? Okay, I'll look. Okay, look at number 2. I'm about to move on to that one. Number 2. What is the degree of my polynomial for number 2? Fifth degree. Good. And what do we call a fifth degree polynomial? Quintic. Good. Yes, you are. Yeah. Okay, now can you show me with your arms what does a quintic graph look like? Yes, that's our opposite one. Good. Now, you want him to sit in the front? No, he cannot be in here every day. We would get nothing done in this class, especially. So now for my intercepts, what's the first kind that I need?
0, 0.
X-intercept, and it is 0, 0. Good. What's my next intercept? 0, 0 again. My third one?
Negative 1.
Negative 1, 0. My fourth one?
3, 0.
3, 0. And my last one?
Negative 2, 0.
Negative 2, 0. Okay, next is what? What do I have after x-intercepts?
Y-intercepts.
Y-intercepts. Well, just one. And what is my y-intercept? 0, 0. Perfect. Can I graph now? Yes, I'm going to label my graph first. Okay, so far I've been able to label every single one of my graphs going by ones, yeah? Do you think I'll be able to do that for all of them today? No. Do you think you'll be able to do that for all of them every time you have homework? No. I'm evil. Why is it evil? Okay, what is my first intercept? 0, 0. And again, I'm going to highlight it because there's a multiplicity. What's my next one? Negative 1, 0. And my third one? 3, 0. And negative 2, 0. Perfect. And where's my y-intercept? 0, 0. And do I start in the top left or the bottom left? Bottom left. So I can go through.
Yes, you start bottom, not top.
Bounce. Oh, man. Like that. Is that a quintic graph? Is that a 5th degree polynomial? What's your question? Like right here? Yes, that is wrong. Okay, so Diego, if you start in the negative, like that, it's a negative graph. It's the same as having a negative sign, but we haven't done those yet. Okay, number 3, it says f of x equals x plus 1 quantity squared times x minus 2 quantity squared. What is that degree? 4th degree. And what's that name? Quartic. Perfect. Not quadratic. Please don't say quadratic. We had a lot of that yesterday, but not so much today. And what does this one look like? Perfect. Yes, like that. Okay, now I have x-intercepts. What are they? Negative 1, 0. What's my next one? Okay, so I have multiplicity 2 there. What are my other ones? Positive 2, 0, and positive 2, 0. So how many different intercepts do I have? I have 2 different intercepts, but I have a bounce at both of those, which gives me 4 total. So for my y-intercept, is it 0, 0 this time? No. How do I find it? We did it yesterday. Nah. Multiply. Look at your notes from yesterday. What do you mean by the x's? So are you trying to tell me you plug in 0 and then solve? Oh, okay. So all the things that you're telling me is how you're doing it in your head, and that's okay. Okay. So let's make sure. Am I doing this right though? Is this what you were trying to tell me? Okay. So then what is my y-intercept? 4. Okay.
Well, if you wait and we get there, then you understand.
Okay, so now I have all my points. Can I graph this? Yes, I can. Okay, my first one is at negative 1, 0. My second one is at positive 2, 0. Both have multiplicity. And then my y-intercept is at 0, 4. Have I graphed that correctly so far? Now, do I start in the top left or the bottom left? Top left. And I'm going to bounce, come back through, bounce, and come back up. Is that my quartic graph? Okay, good. Ready for the last one before you do the rest? You're doing the last 4. Yes, you're doing 4. I'm doing 4. You're doing 4. Remember, we do the I do, you do? Yes. Why did I have to get 4, or how did I get 4? Okay, that's a good question. So on the other ones, if you remember, they were like x times, let's say x minus 1 times x plus 3 or something like that. So this x right here, if I plugged in 0, I would still get 0 times all of that gives me 0. So if I have an origin root or an x-intercept at 0, 0, my y-intercept is also at 0, 0. And we did that yesterday, so that's probably one of the things that you missed, okay? Does that make sense? Okay, we're going to do the last one, and then you're going to do the rest of them. And by rest, I mean 4, which is half as long as a normal homework assignment. Okay, number 4, what is the degree of this? 5th degree, and that is called quintic. Good. Okay, now I think you need to pay attention. Is this one you had a question on? This one you had the question on? Oh, okay. What does this in behavior look like? Yes, remember, odd is opposite. And I have x-intercepts. What's my first one? -4, 0. My second one? -1, 0. My third one? +1, 0. Okay, my fourth one? Another 1, 0? Okay. And my last one? -2, 0. Do we all agree with that? Okay. And I have a multiplicity at 1, 0. And then finally, I have my y-intercept. So how do I find my y-intercept? Plug in 0 for all my x's. So I have 0 plus 4 times 0 plus 1 times 0 minus 1 quantity squared times 0 plus 2. So I have 4 times 1 times -1 squared times 2. So 4, oh my gosh, my stylus. 4 times 1 times 1 times 2 is 8. Now, based on how I was graphing all of the last problems, will my y-intercept fit on this graph? If I go by ones again, will it fit on this graph? No, so maybe I can scale my x's by 1. And how do you think I can fit it on the y-axis? Maybe go by 2s? Or 4s. I can go by 4s also. Okay? If you go by 2s, label that. If you're going to go by 4s, label that. It doesn't matter to me as long as you label the axis so I know what your scale is and that you actually know what the correct point is, okay? And then if it's like 0, -24, something ridiculous that doesn't even fit, you can put a point on there as long as you label that point so I know you knew what the point was. Okay, so I have -4, 0. My second one is -1, 0. +1, 0 has a multiplicity, and -2, 0 has my last one. And my y-intercept is at 0, +8. Do I start in the top left or the bottom left? Bottom left. My stomach growls kind of loud. So I'm going to go through, and then I bounce off my multiplicity, and there is my 5th degree graph, okay? Do you have a question? Okay, you have 4 more. Can you finish those 4 for me? And I'm going to pass out the homework right now, okay? Get working on the 4. You can work in your groups. I'll be right there. I'm going to put up the answers for 5 and 6 now. Okay, here are your first 2 answers. Keep working if you don't have 7 and 8. On number 5, the y-intercept is 0, 18. But I graphed these on Desmos, so I couldn't fit the whole picture in one snapshot, so there's not a y-intercept on my number 5, okay? But it would be up at 0, 18, okay? Here are the last 2 answers, 7 and 8. Please check those.